This is Conversations with Paycheck and Red, a weekly podcast with two good old boys talking about anything and everything that crosses their mind. You may not know what you're going to get with an episode of Paycheck and Red, but you sure know you don't want to miss it. So do what you got to do. Download the app, find the episodes online, and make sure that you don't miss 1 second of Conversations with Paycheck and Red.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Paycheck, and as always, I'm with my boy Red. Say what's up, brother.
What's up, party people?
What are we talking about today? What's the topic?
Oh, man, this is a good one. It's a weird one. It's a little uncomfortable one for some people. We're talking about sex toys today, Paycheck.
Oh, dude, that is so pervy.
Right? What the hell? What the hell? Like, we talk about such crazy shit.
Yeah, we need to fire our talent manager. The team does not know what's going on.
Right.
Team
the
meeting.
The guy that picks our topics is a dick.
Yeah, team meeting. We're definitely gonna have to have a team meeting.
Right.
Well, sex toys. Who's putting them in and who's getting in them? A secret roommate for women, a side chick for men. Today's topics: the ins and outs, the ups and downs of sex toys. Now, if anybody that is not familiar with the term or the words sex toys, then I suggest you visit your local novelty shop, because it'll change you forever. Especially if you're that guy who's you lack life experience, you've kind of been secluded a little bit. So yeah, check out your local novelty store, and it will tell you exactly what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, they will.
Red, you ever been in a novelty shop?
I have.
Did they let you taste test?
Yeah, I got to test drive a few things. Yeah, I've been in a couple, man. Sex toys never really was one of my things. I'm kind of an old-fashioned guy, so I never really got into the whole sex toy thing. But I dated a few girls along the way that was into it, so I have experience with them. I'm just not a big fan of them.
And that's an interesting part about this topic, is that sex toys really boils down to your sexuality. So there are some people that, their sexuality is a big part of their lives, and those are the ones that would normally, deal with, sex toys, have sex toys, purchase them, all that good stuff. And the ones to where sexuality is just a minor part of their lives, and not so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in, perception. It's all about what you like, what you do, or whatever. But as far as are they okay? I mean, are sex toys frowned upon? Are they frowned upon? Are men allowed to have sex toys? Are there sex toys for men?
Oh yeah, there's a million sex toys for men.
Yeah, and a lot of people...
I always laugh at them. They're funny as shit to me. I mean, women's sex toys are almost like, a household name. I mean, you got the little rabbits and the rockets and the vibrators and the dildos and the little pocket rockets and all that kind of shit. And it's
don't forget about the double-headed ones.
Oh, and the double-headed ones, yeah, and the anal beads and all that kind of stuff. But that's almost like common household lingo. I mean, everybody knows that women play with sex toys, but it's not very often that you find men that play with sex toys. I mean, it happens. They have them. There's millions of them, but it always gets a chuckle out of me when I go into a sex shop and see toys for men. I mean, it's the funniest ones are the tabletop asses. Those are the funniest ones, because every time I walk by a table with a tabletop ass on it, I always want to smack it. I don't know why. It's just funny to me. I just think, men sex toys are very comical. I mean, I know they serve the same purpose for men as they do women, but I just get a chuckle out of them. I think it's funny.
The last time I went to a novelty shop, there was an old lady working behind the counter. She was the owner of the place, but it was apparent immediately that she was very comfortable with her sexuality and talking about her sexuality. So through the conversation, she mentioned that tabletop ass that you're talking about. Now I've seen a few here and there. You know, technology has changed them throughout the years. You know what I mean? But man, the one I saw this time, it was so real, dude. She showed it to me. She was like, "Watch," and she slapped one ass cheek, like the right side of the right ass cheek, and that right ass cheek slung into the left one, and the left one slung way out to the left and came back and slapped the right one. Hey, it was it felt real, it looked real, and that is why we are talking about this is one of the reasons why we're talking about that, because as many of you know, I'm a truck driver. I've been doing this shit.
Wait a minute, hold on for a second. Did you stick your finger in it?
No, she wouldn't let me. She said I would have to wear one of those finger condoms first. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I wanted to, but I didn't want to be that creepy dude. Like, well, hell yeah, you know, go get to them.
Right. Yeah, right.
So
anyway, back to you. You're a truck driver. Sorry, I had to ask.
Yeah. So you know, it's natural for, you know, a man to have desires, and you know, and those desires don't stop when they're at work. Like, I mean, like, I was out for 2 months at a time. So, you know, a truck driver has an itch that needs to be scratched sometimes for medical reasons. You know what I mean? For health purposes.
Oh yeah, of course, for medical reasons. Yeah.
So, as a man, you know, I've always been a tough. You know, I work with my hands. You know, so my hands are callousy. So it's not so pleasant. You know what I mean? It's like it's more of a job. It's like, oh, here we go. You know. So one day, I was married to my ex-wife at the time. She didn't have any kind of toys or anything. She wasn't into it. But we were just talking about a conversation about, you know, is it okay for a man to have a sex toy? And I think I just found out that, well, damn, there's sex toys out there for men. Like, I think this was the time that I just found out about them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, I found me one, and it was my very first one. And I took it to, when I came home for 2 months, you know, I didn't, I'd go out for 2 months and I'd come home for 7 days. So for that 7 days, you know, I had it and I didn't mess with it. You know what I mean? I wanted to be for, when I'm out on the road. There's a purpose for it. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be that creepy perv that rapes it as soon as it comes in the mail. So I was patient, but it was literally on my mind the whole time. So you
couldn't wait to get your hands on that thing, huh?
Yeah. Hey, it plagued me all day.
Well, see, that makes you more of a perv than not wanting to hit it as soon as it came in the mail, though.
Yeah, but at least I have some sort of self-control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I have control of the issue at that moment. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But when I finally ran out of hours and I slid back there in that sleeper, son, I fell in love, and I've been a fan of them ever since. And I've owned one.
Fell in love.
Yeah, I've owned one ever since. I don't currently have one right now because I blew the last one out. I mean. Full transparency. I mean,
right.
It's like, why would I buy it if I'm not going to use it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I ended up having to throw it away. But that gets me to the next topic is, you know, I want to talk about men. You know, is it, in your opinion, Red, for somebody who doesn't really, you know, doesn't necessarily have a lot of experience when it comes to this category, do you feel that it's okay for men to have sex toys, or are men considered more pervy because of the sex toys? As listen,
man,
wait, because women, it's like it's almost natural, right? I mean, like, it's not a big deal for a woman to have a sex toy, but if you hear a man, it would be kind of weird to you at first, wouldn't it? Or would it to you?
Well, I mean, it all stems back to you know, everyday norms, like I was talking about earlier. I mean, it's normal, it's acceptable for women to have sex toys. It's not like, you know, you talk about it around the water cooler, but, you know, everybody knows that women have sex toys, but it's, you know, in certain parts of the world and the country, it's pretty taboo for guys to have sex toys. So I mean, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, you got to get it where you got to get it. You know what I mean? But I mean, I personally, I don't see the need for one.
Right.
You know, but
it's because you have a low sex drive. You have a
low
libido.
No, that's not true at all.
Or you're bisexual and sometimes you prefer a guy's hand on your penis.
That is also not true.
Well, I mean, in actuality, it's you like to put your male hand on your penis until you ejaculate. Is that correct?
I'm old-fashioned, yeah, I guess so. If you want to put it like that in those terms, but
well, that says that you prefer the touch of a man's other as opposed to a sex toy.
I prefer my own hand. Let's put it that way. Not a man's hand. I prefer my own hand. Let's be specific here.
Yeah, and you're in construction. You're in construction, correct?
I am.
All right, that's borderline homosexual in my opinion.
Man. I mean,
yeah, you prefer a man's construction hand as opposed to.
No. I prefer my own hand.
Right.
My own hand. Not a man's hand, my own hand.
But you are a man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Listen, there's nothing wrong with homosexuality. You know what I mean?
I didn't say there was.
Yeah, everything's no worries. I mean, you're safe with me, bro. You know, this is the safe space.
Okay. All right. So if you want to put it like that, I guess so.
Yeah. Okay, but let me say this real quick for a full disclosure. When we're talking about men's toys, we're not talking about, you know, dildos or anything. We're talking about, I'm going to throw out a couple of names that some of you might be familiar with. There's not a whole lot because it's fairly new apparently, but pocket pussy, right? That's the most logical. That'd be the first one you would think of, wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it, Red?
Yeah.
Or what else? Just a little,
the more convenient of the men's sex toys, I guess.
Yeah, because it is. I wouldn't necessarily say it's pocket size. I mean, unless you got you one of those little old penises, you know what I mean? But I'm working with a cock, you know what I mean? So, you know, the one I'm going to use is definitely not going to fit in my pocket.
So yours is the one you had is about as big as a mag flashlight, then, right?
Yeah, I would call mine a instead of a pocket pussy, it'd be more like a duffel bag pussy.
A duffel bag pussy? Damn.
Yeah,
I hear you.
But no, I was joking. But yeah, that was that was the last sex toy that I personally owned was a fleshlight.
Right. I mean, dude, it's like this. I mean, like I said earlier, if you feel like you need one, then by all means, go get you one. You know what I mean? But I don't feel the need to own one. I mean,
well, see, for me, it's not buying a sex toy is not just about the sexuality. It's about or the orgasm. A lot of it is about, you know, I'm a pretty deep guy. You know, I mean, I like to consider myself an intellectual. So when they come out with new technology, artificial intelligence, you know, this and that. Listen, how could a man not be curious? You know, okay, so somebody was able to recreate the way a vagina feels. You would think there's no way, because it's not like a male organ. You can replicate that fairly easily, but
right.
but a woman, that's not an easy task, bro.
But see, check it out though. I've never seen any documentaries on the manufacture of these male sex toys or how they're made or anything like that. But I do know. Wait a minute, hold on. I do know they cast them from real vaginas.
Yeah, but that's not even the best part.
But no, wait a minute though. I got a question. Do they mold the inside of the vagina too, or just the outside? Because if it's just wait a minute now, hold on. If it's just the outside, you're just getting your kicks off the way it looks, not the way it feels.
No. It's
because it's just rubber silicone. It all feels the same inside. You know what I mean?
Wait, no. So listen. So this thing is strategically designed from the inside out. They didn't make a vagina and then say, well, let's see if we can make it feel like a vagina. They made something that feels like a vagina and then made it look like a vagina. The whole concept is the inside.
Wait a minute, though. Duh. I mean, I kind of figured that. I mean, it's got to feel good. If not, it's just like sticking your dick in a wet balloon or something. But no, here, hold on a minute. Whenever they mold these, they don't mold the inside, correct? So you're just getting the replica of the porn star or woman in question, right?
Well,
so if I wanted, wait a minute, hold on. If I wanted to say have a good time with Jenna Jameson, and I go out to the novelty shop and I purchase a male sex toy with Jenna Jameson's replica vagina on a sex toy. I'm not getting the inside of her vagina. I'm getting the outside of it, right?
No, you are getting the inside of it.
How do they cast the inside of a woman's vagina, dude?
It's the same way they can do it with your teeth. They can. I mean, it's technology is crazy. So here's how it works. Now, I'm not a professional by any means, but I like to read. I like to do research. If I find something that intrigues me, I like to look into it. So I've looked into it.
Right.
The biggest concept is the technology that they've created to make human-like skin, something that feels like human flesh, and that, my friend, is where they changed the game. Imagine being able to. So they take this material, if you will, and I imagine they somehow pour it down in the vagina, but I don't know. It's no, you might be right then. Yeah, you might be right. I'm sure it's just the outside of the vagina, but they create some sort of cylindrical deal to where it feels like it.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the whole concept of sex toys is the feel of them. I mean, dildos are for the feel of a real cack. A fake vagina is the feel of a real vagina. But I'm just saying, you talking about changing the game with this realistic fleshy material? They would really change the game. They would really change the game if they could mold the inside, because that's where the fun happens, not on the outside. The inside's where the fun happens.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so
realistically, you're just looking at this fake vagina that you're having fun with, and you're just getting off on the way it looks, not the way it feels. You are getting off on the way it feels, obviously, but it's a visual thing.
Yeah, but listen, you're not making love to this thing. Your eyes are closed, your hands doing all the work. You're in la la land.
So you don't put yours between the cushions and kind of get doggy on it or anything. It's all hand work, but why not just do it with the hand? I don't know.
Right. Okay, you're absolutely right. No, I wasn't gonna get that into.
I mean, we're talking about it. Why not? We cross those lines here at Conversations with Paycheck and Red.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
And I'll tell you this much: I'm no slouch in the sack, so I enjoy multiple positions. The only thing I'll say is that I did not go down on any of mine.
So you just didn't answer my question. You didn't put it between the cushions or the mattress or anything like that?
Of course.
You throw a leg up on it and all that too?
Yeah, one time I had to run my dog off in the living room because every time I look over at him, he's over there looking at me. I'm like, go somewhere, get out of here.
Right. I mean, I get it. Really, I get it. I mean, I see the novelty in it because I seen somewhere floating around on Facebook or social media somewhere that there's companies in California that are making these real dolls. Have you seen these things?
Yeah, but they're very expensive.
Oh, of course they are. They're like tens of thousands of dollars.
But you're getting the line there. That's where
you're getting the whole woman,
right?
Not just the fun part.
Okay, so, listen. But wait. Well, hold on. Before we go any further with that, listen to me. If that is not the most creepiest, just imagine the person buying that.
So, dude, it's super creepy. I just noticed that they have them. I didn't say it was something cool. It's super fucking creepy.
Well, it is cool, but can you imagine the type of dude? So he buys this doll because he wants some catatonic female sitting beside him on the couch where he can do whatever he wants to. Like that's almost date rape. What is that like?
That's borderline Bill Cosby, is what you're saying.
Yes, dude. I mean, you know, who wants a damn a woman? And I'm gonna say, I know the dolls you're talking about, and a lot of them today are made of that new technology, the human flesh-like material that feels like material. I mean, feels like human skin, moves like human skin. It's not. It's all artificial. You know what I mean? But
Right.
they've come a long way in the skin tissue game.
I hear you.
It's a pretty big
I
deal.
mean, yeah, I couldn't justify paying $10,000 for lack of a better term here, for a dead woman. You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, people. I mean, dude, that's super creepy to me.
Yeah.
You know, because just like you were talking about a while ago, the person, the man that buys these things, they're not only looking for. I know I seen a documentary floating around on Facebook one time about them. Is why I know about them. But anyway, they were interviewing, and they had little segments in this documentary about people that have purchased them and what they do with them, and you know where they got them from and what they look like and all that kind of stuff. And this one dude legally married his shit. Yeah. So, but the person that buys something like that, man, they're looking for more than just a nut. They're looking for companionship and shit. So. I mean, if I was to get into it, I'm one of those. I'm going to just stay with the regular shit.
What's the regular shit?
The pocket pussies and the tabletop asses and all that kind of shit. That's traditional sex toys. When you go making a whole person, you know what I mean? That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line.
Let me offer you some advice. If you do decide to venture into the whole sex toy craze, cleanliness. I cannot stress this word enough, because here's what happens.
Well, obviously.
Well, yeah, but see, a lot of people don't understand how this works, because it looks like human flesh, it feels like human flesh, but it does not react to semen like a regular vagina would. You know what I mean? Like,
obviously.
yeah. So I mean, you
like
can,
water and oil, it repels off of it.
Well, I mean, you can come inside your wife or whatever. You know what I mean? And somehow, through her hygiene techniques, or just going to the bathroom, it'll get it out. Imagine using a sex toy and coming inside it and forgetting about all that. You know what I mean? You just got a puddle. You just got a puddle of soldiers in the bottom of it. Yeah. So then you go to use it again.
Then you got cold, wet soldiers in the bottom of it. Dude, really? We talk about some crazy shit on this podcast, but that's a little. That's where I draw the line, dude. That's fucking disgusting.
So listen, my point is that sex toys range in price, of course, but for a man, and to want a replication of the gloriousness of a female vagina, you're gonna pay some money for it. Now, just to give you a rough, they're not. It's not a ridiculous amount, but for a fleshlight, it cost me around $125, I think it is, and it was great. Yeah, but listen, and it was great, and I loved it and everything, but I didn't know about hygiene and stuff, so you know what I mean. I just run it under some hot water, maybe some soapy water. You know what I mean. I'd rinse it out, wash it out, maybe even put some of it in the dishwasher. You know what I mean. But you have to have
in the dishwasher.
Yeah,
there was times where I'd have to tell the girls, "Hey, no, don't worry about unloading the dishwasher today. I got it." But my point is that you have to educate yourself, because what I didn't know is that there was some sort of powder that I was supposed to put in there after washing it that would dry up any moisture that was in there. You know what I mean? Because you can imagine what moisture does in, I don't even know how to say it.
It molds.
Well, yeah, well, moisture affects real skin differently than it does artificial skin. You know what I mean? So it absorbs all the water. So it ends up being water, deteriorating the material. You know what I mean?
Stagnant water. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about I'm talking about like you would wash it and dry it like you would dishes. You know what I mean? You just leave it out. But sometimes because of it's hard to explain, man, unless you really seen the fleshlight. But it's a long cylindrical tube, and it's about let's see, maybe 1.5 feet long. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of material to dry out. So if you don't dry it out and you close it up, you put the lids on it, the whole mildew thing starts. You know what I mean? And that's just you might as well be having sex with a woman with an STD at that point.
Of course. Right. Yeah, I ain't sticking my unit in no moldy vagina. that ain't happening.
And you can imagine how it would smell after a while if you were not.
Oh, dude, see, you got to go cross that line again. Here's another thing, though. Those guys that buy these, you know, they're in it for the nut, obviously. But there are women that buy these things because they don't have a man, because they want to stay single and they don't want a man, or they have, you know, an abnormal sex drive and their husband's not doing the job or whatever. But when a man goes to the novelty shop and he buys a sex toy, it's just pure impulse. Like, I don't leave town or leave my house to go into town to the novelty shop. I don't expect this is the way it goes anyway. I don't leave the house and go to town to the novelty shop and say, you know what? I think I need a damn sex toy. It doesn't happen that way. You know, it's all like spontaneous. Women plan this shit out, I think. I'm not a woman. I've known women to have them, but I've never got into deep conversation about it. So I really don't know, but I'm just speculating here.
Well, may I just comment on how country you sounded when you said going into town?
Oh, see, why are we attacking my vocabulary again?
No.
I thought we were past that.
Because we were having a conversation about, I haven't been to Red's house. He's been here a few times, and we just haven't made it all the way out to West Virginia, but we're going to. But we sitting over here in Florida. When I think,
what do you call it?
Well, hold on. When I think Red's house out in West Virginia, you know what I mean? I'm thinking some old small podunk town where everybody wears jeans and boots all the time, and work clothes and pickup trucks and sweaters and mountains, and you know what I mean? And you know, that old country, they don't have a Walmart. They have like Granny and Papa's grocerette. You know what I mean? Down there by the IGA where you get your cola and moon pie.
See, man, that's so stereotypical because you know that I'm not even from here.
Yeah, I know you're not from there.
Right. So what is the way I talk got to do with the town I live in? Because I lived in the same kind of town in South Carolina.
When you say...
What do you call... Wait a minute, hold on. Don't even forget about everything I just said. What do you call going into town? What do you call it?
Dude, I live in a large city. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm in town. Even I live in a subdivision.
No,
but,
I mean, whenever you got to go to the store, or you got to go to the grocery store, or you got to go here, go there, what do you call it?
The damn grocery store. I don't say I'm going into town. I'm already in town. You know what I mean? Walmart is right up the road.
All right, yeah, okay, so we're attacking Red's vocabulary again and his way of speaking.
No, what it does is that it gives me a visual on the lifestyle that my best friend lives. Look, I know you just...
See, you got it all wrong, though, dude.
Yeah, but I know...
Yeah, okay, yes, I live in a small town. Yes, I live in a small town. Yes, I live in West Virginia. Yeah, there are blue-collar American men in the town that I live in that wear boots and work shirts, but not everybody does that. Yeah, but I seen an emo kid walking down the street just like 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, he'll be stoned to death by next week.
He was probably already stoned to death walking down the street.
Yeah. But listen.
Anyway.
Wait. let's stay on track here. Getting back to what I wanna.
We are. We're talking about sex toys, not my vocabulary.
Yeah, right. My bad. Getting back to, you made a comment about different reasons why someone would want a sex toy, whether it's male or female, and you said sex drive. And I want to touch on that because I think that's really what it's all about. That's what it was about with me. I think, and that now I'm talking about healthy wise, why a healthy individual would want a sex drive. I'm not talking about the creepy perv, you know what I mean, in his mom's basement, going to town, you know what I mean. I'm talking about a healthy sex life, you know what I mean. So sometimes it's used within a couple, you know what I mean. Sometimes a couple will co-participate. You know what I mean? Like the whole you do you, or I'll do you and you do me thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, I totally get it. You know, I understand that, you know, some couples enjoy that kind of shit.
But some also is because one partner, their sex drive is not as high as the other. So it's kind of like, not overcompensating. It's what's the terminology I'm looking for here?
I don't know, man. I don't know what you're trying to say.
When you get another job to on top of the job you already have, it's to do what?
Supplement.
There you go. To supplement one's sex drive, someone might require a sex toy. It's better than going to your wife or your husband and saying, "Hey, I'm leaving you because your sex drive sucks and mine's way up here." Right. Instead,
so it's just a side chick that doesn't talk back, and you ain't got to worry about calling you when you're at home with the wife.
Yeah, and they don't have to, you know, the wife or the husband
or the boyfriend.
Huh?
I said it's just a side chick or a dude that doesn't call you back or catch you in uncomfortable situations whenever you're with your man or woman. Yeah, that's all it is, dude.
Yeah, just like I said in the beginning, you know, of my beginning statement, is it's a secret roommate for women, or it's a side chick for men.
Yeah.
No involvement, no insecurities, nobody feels threatened. You know what I mean? It's a tool, if you will. That's what I'm going to start calling it from now on, my tool.
That sounds pretty derogatory, though.
Hey, put my tool down. I put my tool in it. I put my tool in that tool.
So wait. So you have it was a fleshlight brand, right?
Correct.
So did you say, you know, when you were riding down the road and you got a little free time, did you say, "Hey, I'm gonna break out my fleshlight," or did you name it? did you give it a name, or was it replicated after a certain star, or what? Did it have a name?
Well, you know, I feel a little uncomfortable with going too much into detail, you know, even saying the name Fleshlight, because they're not a sponsor or anything. But to give you an idea on how Fleshlight, we'll throw them a plug, I guess. So what you do is, my wife and I, we did this together, and we went on the website, went on fleshlight.com, I think it was, and it starts you out by asking your preference in women. You know, if you like blondes, you like brunettes, you know, redheads or whatever. So you literally start finding the physical attributes. Okay, I like a blonde, or I like a brunette. Okay, so they give me all the faces of blondes, brunettes, or whatever. And then I find a woman who is physically appealing to me, only in her face. And the more I ask, the more they show me, and it gets all the way down to, okay, well, this is who this person is, and they also do anal. So they then give you the option of buying a fleshlight for the front door or the back door. So these people that you're looking at are, from what I gathered, they're porn stars. So the particular chick that we picked out, she was a very cute Asian, and I don't have a thing for Asian. I mean, it's super weird. Like, I don't have a thing for Asian. I don't not have a thing or have a thing. It's just, you know. But I found this chick named Tia to be, you know, she was beautiful. So we bought the fleshlight that was molded after her vagina.
Nice.
I banged it out.
So her name was Tia.
Tia, you know. Funny story. My wife's family is Cuban. So our aunt, Tia.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so one day I go in the office and the calendar says Tia's birthday. So I go in there to the wife. I'm like, holy shit, did we plan a party for Tia? I mean, what's going on here?
That's funny. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I played it up for a while, you know what I mean? She didn't get it, and she didn't know what I was talking about, you know, and then I reminded her that Tia's, you know, my flashlight's name is Tia, and we had a big laugh about it.
Right on.
Yeah. So getting back to the topic at hand, as far as, you know, my notes, cleanliness. I want to just make sure that, you know, you
wash it. That's kind of obvious.
Yeah, but not just wash it, because you're dealing with a sensitive material. You have to know how it dries. You have to know how it holds moisture. Like I said, this particular, like the fleshlight, I was supposed to have some sort of powder to put in there, but I didn't know anything about that. I didn't think about that. So if you're going to spend that kind of money, 150 like that tabletop ass you're talking about, I haven't. It's been a few years since I saw it at the novelty stop, but at that point, it was like $350.
Holy shit, dude!
Yeah. So now I do want to say this: at this particular time, those little tabletop asses had been out for a while, so it wasn't that stiff, you know, silicone-y type dumb shit.
Right.
Like this was the real deal, like, you know, the bubble butt. You know what I mean?
Right. That's crazy to pay for just fake. I can't, dude. That's crazy.
Well, I'll tell you this much: I'll never pay $350 again.
No. I'd never pay $350 the first time.
Yeah. So you see what I did there?
Again? I don't. $350 again.
Yeah, that means I spent $350 on a big old fat ass.
Yeah, dude, I can't. There's no way.
I'm kidding. I didn't buy one of those. Hold on, wait. Just for transparency, I did not buy one of those. My wife would never let me spend $350 on something like that.
Right. Obviously, I wouldn't let you spend $350 on something like that. That's crazy. So, in your research and looking around on this, did they give you a most popular 2017 or 18 male sex toy or female sex toy at all?
No, I did not dig that deep, but I will tell you that technology keeps growing, and it is only getting better.
Because, see, I hear that the top-notch sex toy to have on the female side is, and I actually seen it on an episode of Howard Stern one time, was the Sibian. This thing, like a saddle that you ride that vibrates, has a little nodule on top that rubs the clitoral area.
The clitoral area?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the same. That's the first time I saw it was on.
And those things run a couple $1,000s too, I believe.
See, there's no privacy about those things. That's not something you can just kick under the table if somebody comes walking in.
Oh no, dude! You gotta store that thing under the bed or in the closet somewhere. You better lock a door when you ride that thing because it hums and makes noise and all kind of shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that's something that you have to. I mean, that's premeditative masturbation right there.
Is that a crime?
Nope. I mean, that's a lot of planning. You know what I mean?
I thought you were looking at like a crime or something. Premeditated. That's a criminal word to me.
Well, I mean, it's that means that you thought long and hard about.
Of course, yeah, I know what premeditated means, but when I hear the word premeditated, I'm thinking criminal acts and shit.
Right.
No, you got to think about that shit. That's what I say. You gotta break it out. You gotta unveil it and put it in the middle of the room, and plug it in, and lock a door, and
put some music on.
Put some music on. Clear your schedule for a couple hours. I mean, you gotta. It's a whole thought process when it comes to something like that. You can whip a little pocket rocket out or a little flashlight out, riding down the road or sitting at the dinner table or wherever. You ain't got to plan that shit out. But I would think, we were talking about that real high-end doll, about it being like the top of the line sex toy or whatever, and I was just thinking back to, top of the line female, because they seem to be gravitating around male sex toys. But female sex toys get just as fucking expensive. I walked into Spencer's at the mall the other day, and Spencer's, when I was growing up, Spencer's was just a novelty shop for just goofy gag gifts and cool shit to buy for your bedroom, like lava lamps and shit.
Right.
Spencer's has expanded
Absolutely
over the years, and I had seen that they have a little privacy wall and all this kind of shit. You know, I walk in there, and I always walk into Spencer's when I go to the mall. It's just a kid in me, I guess, but they have the novelty wall in the back with all the toys and stuff like that on it, and I seen a glass, hand-blown glass dildo.
Yeah, you can
Right?
heat them up.
That shit was like $600.
Yeah, but you can heat those up and you can cool them. You can put them in the freezer and they'll hold temperature. So if
They
you
don't crack when you get them cold, and then put them inside. That they don't, like, you know how whenever you got a cold window in your car and you pour hot water on it, that shit's gonna crack.
Nope.
So if you go cooling down one of these glass sex toys and you stick it inside a warm vagina, is it gonna crack and cut you all up or what?
Nope. Not now. I don't have a vagina, nor have I put one of those in a vagina. I don't have that kind of money, but
Right.
But I know what you're talking about, and from what I understand, they're very durable, high quality, blown glass. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, I wouldn't imagine that you'd have to worry about anything like that. But you're right, because I've bought sex toys throughout my life for girlfriends, wives, whatever, and yeah, it's expensive, and you have to think about it, long and hard. I think you would have to know your partner.
Wouldn't it be easier? Yeah, right. I get it. Wouldn't it be easier though than to just go mingle at the bar or at a party and find somebody, and it'd be a whole lot cheaper.
Yeah, but some
I
people
think in the long run.
Some people are socially awkward. You think guys are virgins in their 40s because they want to? It's because
I would hope, and I would think not.
Yeah, it's because they're socially awkward. They're unable to go anywhere. It doesn't matter what setting they put themselves in. Bars, ball fields. Find you one of those soccer moms or whatever. You know what I mean? But to be honest with you, I learned around 14 or 15 that it was my responsibility to be aggressive. Not aggressive, but the initiator. Does that make sense?
In the sack, you mean?
Yeah, because when you're young, it's super awkward. You don't know if she's gonna let you. You know what I mean? You're thinking,
right. Yeah.
You're thinking all these, so you end up not making that move because you're socially awkward a little bit at that age. But normal, I mean, I don't want to say normal, but men, they hit that pivotal moment in their life where they finally realize that you start reading signs and you go for it. You know what I mean? Those socially awkward people, they don't go for it. So they don't get any. So they end up relying on these. Those are the people, in my opinion, that are spending the thousands of dollars for those fake dolls. You know what I mean? Prop them up in the basement. You know what I mean? It's,
yeah.
Now they got somebody to game with.
Oh, see, dude, you're being stereotypical as fuck tonight, man.
Listen, I'm not being. I know people like that. Like, I know people. I'm not.
Yeah, but a guy, a real socially awkward guy, doesn't have to be a gamer. He could just be a normal dude that's just socially awkward. He might have shit tons of money and have a white collar job. He doesn't have to be some nerdy kid in the basement playing video games.
You're right. I take away the whole basement in video games. I'll delete that and I will add the word.
I'm gonna edit that. I'm gonna edit this whole segment out of the podcast, dude.
Dude.
Man.
Then it would be boring. How about introvert? So
yeah, let's not put labels on people.
Yeah, I didn't put labels on anybody.
Well, I mean, you're just talking about the only people that want to deal with sex toys are the socially awkward, nerdy kids that stay in their mom's basement and play video games.
That is not what I didn't say. The only people.
That was the first description of somebody who would want one was for you, was a nerdy kid living in his mom's basement.
Dude, I just got done telling you how many I've owned, and I don't play video games nor live in my parents' basement. Nor do my parents even have a basement. Just
But
for the
you're not socially awkward either.
well, who's to say I am or I'm not?
Me, I know you. You're not socially awkward.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the ones that the people who are, and I'm not the guy that would spend $350 to a couple $1,000s on a sex toy. The ones who would, and I'll stand by what I say, are those. Look, we can have this conversation all day long, but I'll go ahead and throw this out there. My opinion on the problem in society today is lack of parenting and lack of social positives, in one's life. So what happens is that you have this kid. He was put in front of the TV and the computer and the video games by his parents, which was a lack of parenting. And because of that, this child they grow up with being socially awkward because they spent most of their lives in their bedroom, doing the video games or the computers or whatever. So they become so introverted and so reliant on artificial excitement.
Stimulation.
Yes, and these sex toys fall in that category.
Well, see, here's the thing. You just struck a nerve with me, Paycheck, and we're going to address this real quick. just real quick.
But
I have a 9-year-old son. Okay.
Yeah.
My 9-year-old son loves playing basketball. He's been on basketball teams. He shoots hoop with me in the yard. He loves girls. Anywhere this dude goes, he draws girls to him. His milkshake brings all the girls to the yard.
See, you went too far with that one.
And
I'll let that one slide. We're gonna even happen.
all right. But he also has a hobby of video games.
Okay.
All right. Now, me being a parent, I limit his video game play.
And that's what sets you apart from the people that I'm talking about.
But he enjoys video games. I use video games in my house as a way. Some people have movie night. Some people have board game night. Some people go out to eat. They go to amusement parks, what have you. I use video games as a way to bond with my children.
Yeah, understand.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if my kid broke the mold from what you're talking about, but I don't see my 9-year-old son having a problem with the ladies when he gets older, and I don't see. He's definitely not going to be living in my fucking basement for sure.
But it's because he's getting that social education. He's getting that social experience with his dad, with his siblings, with his mom. He's not just sat in front of the damn TV or the computer screen and told to shut up and I'll call you when dinner's ready. You know what I mean? You know the type I'm talking about.
I do. Just
and that's the problem. That's the main issue, in my opinion. And it's hard to say that it's a parent's problem because what are we supposed to do? Put all parents on probation and have a probation officer come see if they're able to maintain their house properly or take care of their kids properly. We can't do that. Just the money it would cost alone would make it illogical. So
right, but what I'm saying is,
wait. So we can't just say that it's one problem. So I'm gonna say that it's and I don't even know why we're getting into problems and shit. We were talking about sex toys or whatever. But
well, I know I'm talking about that. No, wait a minute. I'm leading into this whole stimulation thing.
All right.
It doesn't take. And then that's what I'm saying. I don't know if my kid broke the mold because I know the type you're talking about, and they are, kids like that are a problem. But not every kid is like that.
Right.
Some kids just, my son is not introverted. He's very outspoken. He loves talking. He loves kids and, playing with other kids. He loves people. You know, I can sit down and have an adult conversation with my 9-year-old son just because he's that mature at 9 years old. Not because he's seen things, because he's only 9, but just because his intellectual stimulation. You know what I'm saying? Like he reads, he watches educational shit on TV. You know what I mean? So, you know, that stimulation that you're looking for when you buy a sex toy or you play a video game or, you know, you do whatever that stimulates you rather than having, you know, normal conversation with another human being. That isn't a problem. It's a I don't want to call it a personality, I don't think, because you could just be, like you mentioned earlier, you could just be really, really, you know, sexually, like your libido. You can really have a really high libido. So when people are looking for that stimulation, it's the need for the stimulation, not, you know, it's a personality trait. Yeah. Is what I'm getting at. You know what I mean?
I know. Well, let's we talk. You mentioned that we spent a lot of time talking about sex toys for a male, but you know, for a female, have you ever? You say that you haven't had much experience, you know, with your partners when it comes to sex toys, but have you ever seen, like in reality, not on TV, but have you ever seen a dildo?
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I've seen a dildo. I mentioned at the beginning of the episode.
Okay, wait.
I've had girlfriends that used them. I've seen them. Yeah, I'm not that naive, dude.
Okay, so tell us your first experience with a dildo.
Wait a minute. Not my first experience with a dildo. Let's not put it like that. Okay.
Well, it was an experience, correct?
I don't even want to call it an encounter. It wasn't anything to do with me and the dildo. It was the girl I was with and the dildo. Now,
was it? Now, did she force this dildo on you? Like, what I mean is that, like, did you know right away that you were going to be introduced to that dildo when you walked in there, or you know?
Well, obviously not. I didn't know she had it when I walked in the room. I mean, when I went back to this girl's house, she didn't say, "Hey, you know what? Guess what I got?" And that's not the first thing she showed me.
Oh, so it was a sensual experience?
Yes, it was a sensual experience. She didn't have it like as a centerpiece on her coffee table or anything.
So what would provoke a conversation about and an introduction to? This was your girlfriend, you said?
At the time, yes. I don't know, dude. We were at her house, messing around, watching movies, Netflix and chilling.
Wait.
Before Netflix?
You asked her if you could see one of her dildos?
No, man.
No?
Can I tell the story without interrupting?
Sure.
These asinine questions? All right.
I just know how much you like dildos.
I do have a collection. No, I was at her house, and we were fooling around, you know, Netflix and chilling. Started messing around, and not so much Netflix and more chilling. Anyway, things got a little hotter and heavier than I expected. I just thought we were going to make out, you know what I mean, the whole thing, but it wound up going a little farther than that. And you know, I'm a guy that likes oral stimulation, given and taken. So I was doing my job, and she breaks it out, says, "Hey, use this while you do that," and I'm like, "Okay."
On me?
No. But see, here's the thing. I struggled with this thing morally for like a hot minute. Because she wanted me to use the dildo while I was orally pleasuring her, okay?
Oh, yeah, so your tongue would hit it occasionally.
So that means, you know, I was having close encounters with a, what's the word? A phallic object, let's put it that way. A phallic object.
No,
right.
Don't sugarcoat it. It was a dildo.
Yeah, it was a dildo. Yeah, it was.
Okay, so what you meant to say was that your mouth was super close to a dildo.
My mouth was super close to a dildo. Way more closer than I wanted it to be. Okay.
So it's probably
so I had to rotate. No. So I had to rotate, right? You know, I was on the in motion and I was licking on the out motion. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have any of these close encounters with the third kind or whatever you want to call it. But
good for you, bro. Good for you, bro.
I worked it out. I worked it out where I could stand it. Yeah, it was a.
Everybody clap it up for Red one time. Everybody clap it up for Red.
Thank you.
You dodged the bullet on that one. You dodged the bullet.
I did. I was quick to think on the fly with that one. I had to work it out. Like I said, I was morally distraught for like a hot second. I'm thinking, how in the hell am I going to do that without putting my mouth all over that thing? You know what I mean? So I worked it out. I was right proud of myself after the whole encounter was over with. I kind of give myself a pat on the back because it all worked out.
Well, I would like to leave our listeners with that, because that was podcast gold. So just tell them real quick where they can find us and where they can see us and hear about us.
Wait a minute. We're not going to skip over your first encounter with a dildo just like that.
A very similar story to yours. It was.
Oh, wait a minute. We want to hear it. I had to go in detail with mine, so we got an extra 5 or 10 minutes we can spend on your story real quick.
Yeah, mine was. I think it was. I was around 21. I think. I met this girl at a restaurant. She was our waitress. This is back in the day when I had that pager on my hip, son.
Mm-hmm.
And she was cute. She looked real young, but I was young at the time. But she was super. She was like she almost looked like a beach chick. The dirty blonde hair, tan skin, blue eyes.
Right.
So I gave her my pager number. She hit me up on the pager 411.
41169. Yeah.
So we ended up kicking it. We moved in together. We were together for a few years. She ended up asking me if she could dance. We were super young, and of course, any man would be like, "Well, hell yeah!" Because now I have a bunch of strippers at the house. There's good times, and when you have a bunch of strippers living with you, you end up seeing a dildo. That's where I think I got upset about the situation because I think one of their dildos was left out on my coffee table or something like that, and I had to go to work the next morning, and I wasn't happy about it. And that was probably my first experience was a stripper party.
Did they ever leave it up by your toothbrush or anything in the bathroom or whatever?
No, I had a very specific policy when it came to bathroom procedures and things like that. Now I say stripper parties and everything, but the reality of it is that when now I don't know about all places, but the places that I know of in my life, strippers are like family. So there was just a few, like the strippers that were over at the house, they were all family. Very cool people.
Listen to that, listeners. Paycheck said strippers are family.
Yeah. Hey, some of them are really just trying to go through college.
So go to your local titty bar and invite one to Thanksgiving dinner the next time you go, because they're family.
Yes. So yeah, that was the first time that's the first experience, the first encounter I had with and this was a double-headed dildo, so I was broke in properly.
Ah, right, the double-headed dildo.
Wait a minute, that could be taken so out of context if somebody just started listening.
You said it, not me.
And I stand by it. We say it, so you don't have to. Tell them where to find us, brother.
We're on Facebook, Conversations with Paycheck and Red. We are on Twitter at Paycheck and Red. We are on Instagram at Paycheck and Red Podcast. We're on Anchor Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, RadioPublic, and Tunein. But if you're listening to this, you already know all that. Questions, comments. I'm getting to that. Can I do my little social media spiel without you interrupting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, officer.
I don't even know where I was at now. See, you done fucked it all up.
We were at
the email. The email, yes. Questions, comments, concerns. If you want to send us pictures of your dildo, if you want to tag Paycheck in your pictures of your dildo.
Yeah, please do it. If your girlfriend Listen, if your girlfriend or wife has a dildo drawer, then please send it in. And I'll tell you this much: we're on the very infancy of it, but the very first person that sends a picture of their wife's or girlfriend's dildo drawer, you'll be the first person getting a Paycheck and Red T-shirt.
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. It's paycheckandred@yahoo.com. So get those dildo drawer pictures in, people, for your chance to win a fucking T-shirt.
Sounds good. That's it. See ya.
Later.